If you thought traveling to these places is not in your budget, do not despair.
So we're about to land in Iceland, a very expensive country.
Some would say the most expensive. But we cheap-ass budget travelers crafted a dream Iceland road trip for almost nothing. And so can you. Alright, this is our car for the journey. At less than $18 a day per person, giving us the freedom to go wherever we want. We skipped the super expensive Blue Lagoon, instead driving to the thermal river at Reykjadalur, which is free. My first experience with the wonders of Iceland's natural hot springs. So on the surface it's -6 degrees Celsius, but underground it's warmer with that geothermal activity. Listen to that boiling water. Further upstream, the temperature is just right.
Really nice.
Yeah.
A little shallow, but there's some pools where you can kind of lay down. It's very.
How hot is it though?
It's very warm. It's as good as a hot tub.
Undressing is rough, but totally worth it. Getting out is a bit tricky though.
Freezing.
And my bathing suit
It's just froze literally in 1 minute. That's insane.
In all, it was a perfect start to our Iceland trip. The next day, we began the long drive northeast towards Akureyri, but not before a stop at what is for us another of Iceland's wonders. Here is the key to all your money-saving ventures in Iceland. That Pink Piggy bonus supermarket. The cheapest supermarket in Iceland, filling our rumbling tummies for the entire trip. Follow the Pink Piggy, and you'll be okay. Then we pulled over to do something stupid. We've decided we're gonna try walk on this frozen river. And to do it, we have these clamp-ons for the shoes. When you step on the ice, listen to this. You hear that? After digging through here for I don't know how long, we found the water. We learned later that unlike lakes, rivers tend to freeze unevenly, thus falling into the freezing water underneath is a danger, so this was not smart. Don't do it. In the evening, we arrived at our cozy Airbnb in the sleepy yet picturesque little town of Vamstangi. Nearly froze looking for seals, just one curious bloke surfacing for a few seconds, and then drove off into the darkness in search of the famous Northern Lights. It took some time coming, but when it did, we were blown away. All these freezing fingers, it was worth it! We started day 3 at Kaluglia 4. This isn't even a major waterfall or a particularly well-known waterfall here in Iceland, and we thought it was just amazing. But in Iceland, there's always another incredible natural wonder around the corner.
The Fosslaug waterfall.
Also known as Reykjafoss. Absolutely majestic in its partially frozen over form that we got to witness. But the amazing thing about this waterfall is the natural hot spring sitting at its top. The hot tub is waiting for me. Oh my god. This one is rough. Hello everybody. Oh no.
Yeah, it's very slippery.
Yes.
And this, yeah.
Yes. There's just nothing like hanging out with a bunch of strangers in a hot spring atop a freezing waterfall. And trust me, when you get out, it is freezing.
Yo! 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 Whoa! Whoa!
And we finally made it to Akureyri, the largest town outside the Reykjavik area, with a grand total of 19,200 residents. One of them, Svein, a couchsurfing legend who has hosted over 900 people at his apartment and was willing to take us in, which was very helpful for our budget purposes, and also gave us the chance to discover a bit of Akureyri, notably the famous central church, and a dispute about the number of steps leading up to it.
They say, hey, these steps that belong to the hotel. So it's always an argument.
So without these steps, how much is it?
Well, let's count a step.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we counted 105. Oh, these count as well?
109.
109. This is the fjord?
The fjord goes out north. The longest fjord. It's like 73 kilometers, something like that.
Akureyri, though, is the perfect base from which to strike out and discover the magic of northern Iceland. Godafoss, meaning in Icelandic, waterfall of the gods. There is an interesting story behind this name. At the turn of the millennium, at around 1000 AD, the Icelandic people were debating whether to keep their Old Norse pagan gods or adopt Christianity. We know now, of course, what they chose, and this was largely due to the efforts of the law speaker and pagan priest Thorgeir Thorkelson, who, after a day and night of silent meditation, decided to become a Christian. According to the legend, Thorgeir came here to this waterfall and he threw all the Norse pagan statues into the water as a sign of leaving that religion behind and moving on to Christianity. And thus the name. Most historians agree it never happened, unlike this stupidity, which did. Whoa! The mighty flow of Godafoss on a picturesque white landscape is definitely one of those images I won't be forgetting in a hurry. To warm up, we drove east of the beautiful frozen lake Mývatn to the Grjótanga hot spring. It's supposed to be over 40 degrees, so this one's particularly hot. And very slippery, so one must be careful. Can't see anything ahead of me. Woo. You can bang your head here, you can slip on the ice here, so this one is a rough one. It's too hot for me to go in. I can't go in. My feet. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god! Oh god! It's so hot. What, to swim to the other side? No.
Try.
No.
Yes.
Wow. So good after minus 10 degrees outside. This area is teeming with volcanic activity as it sits atop the North Atlantic Ridge, where the Eurasian and North American tectonic plates meet. The Hverir geothermal spot is the most impressive. The endless steam vents and bubbling mud pools will make you feel like you've stepped onto another planet. The water here on the surface, which is freezing cold right now, because we're at around minus 10 degrees and I can't feel my fingers as I'm talking to you. It seeps down into the earth, and then at some point it comes in contact with the magma there, and then comes back up through these steaming vents. You can feel really, really hot streams of air over there. Just gotta heat my hands here. Oh. Wow, that was really hot. The impressive Krafla volcano overlooks this area, and we may have had time to visit if not for this. Try as we may, we could not get the car back on the road. Even with the help of this friendly Icelander and his little kids who pitched in with the effort.
one of you, so the three strongest, we will go and we will try to push it backwards to get it over there.
We tried. We couldn't get them out, but they have a rescue number to call, so I believe they will be okay. Driving in Iceland in winter conditions is perilous, but we did not complete the Iceland ring trip simply because we didn't have enough time, although we saw plenty of new things on the way back. Like the traditional turf houses Icelanders used for 1,000 years to stay warm when almost no wood was available, more incredible hot springs, including one in the middle of a flowing river, and just stopping at random gorgeous viewpoints that honestly, I couldn't even tell you now where they are on the map. And our final waterfall of the trip. It's just in the process right now of defrosting. We hear these pieces of ice just crashing down onto the surface. Part of the waterfall that's completely frozen over, and then part of the waterfall that is flowing. And I wouldn't be surprised if that started to happen recently because the weather has finally gone above zero for the first time since we came to Iceland, which means the ice is starting to defrost. Everything was just perfect. The weather, the scenery, the magnificent frozen waters. Great, so my stupid friend crashed the drone. And now we have to go save it. Activating now the Find My Drone beeping and flashing, which should help us find it. Can you hear that? We could hear but not see the drone. We looked again at the crash footage and realized the drone must be on the ledge, somewhere in this area. So we had to climb back out of the ravine. That was to get to the other side of the ravine. And now we're gonna try and climb down from the cliff top to the ledge where the drone crashed. Hope it works. We are getting closer to the ledge. That's the basin we were at down earlier. Now where is it? That's it. That's the ledge. That's where it is. We just have to go down now and get it. Easier said than done, but we're gonna do it. I first lowered myself down the ledge, but then a problem. That point over here with the ice on it, it's like that ice is so slippery. I I'm alive. So it's done. That was absolutely terrifying. Probably not worth it. It does make you feel so alive when you go through something like that, because you come out of it and you just appreciate the fact that you're breathing, you're standing, you're here. For my survival?
For your survival. And for your stupidity.
Okay. On our final day, we bid farewell to our budget saviors bonus. This is to be an ambassador of the cheap-ass supermarket. Maybe that's my destiny. I don't know. Should I get a shirt also? I would be the the pink piggy presenter. No. It's too expensive. Like, we came here because we're cheap. We're not gonna buy it. And then got to explore Iceland's lovely capital, Reykjavik. I give you the most impressive building in Reykjavik, Hallgrímskirkja. Both the outside and the inside of this church have a very unique modern design, like a lot of other churches that we saw throughout Iceland, which is another thing that makes this country very, very unique. And I find it very interesting that at this location marking Icelandic heritage, there's a statue of that guy, Leif Erikson. You probably heard about those Viking sailors who discovered North America half a millennia before Christopher Columbus. Well, they're talking about him. He did it in the 10th century already. And speaking of the 10th century, that is the Althing, the National Parliament of Iceland, from the 10th century, from the early settlement days of Iceland, when the various chieftains of the different clans had to settle their disputes. They would gather at the Althing, and then they would have their debates and votes on the various issues. So this could be, not the actual building, but the concept of the Althing, the oldest parliament in the world. The oldest in the world. We then went to taste a traditional Icelandic dish, fermented shark. Many people say it's the most disgusting piece of food they've ever tasted in their life. You take this guy here, and he's very toxic. He's got a ton of toxic acids in him, so he needs to be fermented for like 5 months before you can eat it. And it's considered a local Icelandic delicacy. But it's an acquired taste, and some people puke when they eat it for the first time. So are we gonna try or not? I don't know.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hi.
Can we taste here the fermented shark, the hakkarl?
Yeah.
What should we do when we eat? Like, should we hold our noses or something? I heard.
You eat the shark and then you take a shot of the alcohol.
Ah, okay. And why do you have to take a shot of the alcohol?
Because the shark is not really good.
So why do people eat it?
I don't know.
You eat it? Like something you clean your toilet with. I swear to God. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. It doesn't taste so bad at the beginning, and then when you chew, it just gets worse and worse and worse. It's the only thing made in a restaurant in an entire week in Iceland. The fermented shark. That's it. Everything else we ate from the bonus supermarket. And we still have time for one final activity before our flight. The Fagradalsfjall volcano, active volcano, 40 kilometers from Reykjavik. 4 miles up, 4 miles down. We made it here to the top. That is the mouth of the volcano that erupted less than a year ago. Wow, what an amazing trip it's been. And I couldn't have done it without my two cheap-ass partners. Thank you very much. What was it, $70 a day? Something like that?
Alex, sorry for crashing your drone.
Yeah. But we did it at a real budget price, so you could do it as well. Just get a car and start driving in Iceland. Believe me, you won't regret it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.